Bitcoin just hanging out on the daily chart. You can see two macro patterns right now. One is a multi-year pattern, the bear market pattern, basically a falling wedge, breakout target 55,000. We have a rising wedge, a pivot out of the bear market, 70,000. Both of these patterns, both in play right now, these targets in play. We have this huge barrier of resistance Bitcoin has been contending with recently. I want to break down what is going on the Bitcoin charts, especially on the zoomed in. This move that's happening right here is incredibly critical. Link breaking out to the upside. This is a very important move for the altcoin markets. This is a move that actually happened last cycle in terms of Link acting as a leading indicator for altcoins. So I want to break down the Link move that's happening, and I want to kind of use Ethereum charts on the macro and ADA charts on the macro to give an example of what we might be able to anticipate and because of this Link move. And that applies to all altcoins. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. Let's start with Bitcoin. Zoomed out on Bitcoin. I have to do it, everybody, because I know there's going to be some new people watching this video. Bull market high, bear market low, Fibonacci, bull market doors. Didn't paint that very well, but there it is. That green rectangle right there, this area of resistance is the bull market doors. 618 resistance right here. Bitcoin hit it around a month ago, which is pretty crazy. It's already been a month. The same exact thing happened last cycle, bull market high to bear market low. You can see 618 right here. There's a very specific reason I'm breaking this down right now, because as we zoom in on the daily chart and what is currently happening on the daily chart, there are key similarities that are in play right now on this daily chart below the 618 resistance and the daily chart all the way back then at the bull market door resistance. You can even see the similarities right off the bat in terms of Bitcoin starting to fall off of that resistance. So one thing we've been talking about in terms of Bitcoin recently on the zoomed in, as we start really zooming in on these charts, one thing we've been talking about is the 20-day has fallen below the 50, right? After we get that major resistance, the 20 has fallen below the 50-day moving average, and we've been really tracking, can Bitcoin close daily candles above these moving averages, and maybe more generally so the 50 to the 20, just this general range, right? We're looking at like 42,000 to around 43,000, just under 43. And Bitcoin has not really made it easy to track how solid of support it is, right? What we want to see, and I say this a lot in moving average areas, is we want to see separation, an explosive move away from the moving average area. Bitcoin has just been like consolidating at this area for around a week now. And it's been very sideways, right? So we haven't had too much of a hint. It is good to see we're getting some daily candle closes above the 50, obviously support above the 20. That is good. But here's the thing. If we go back, right? Remember, we're comparing the macro move. If I zoom out on the weekly, we're comparing this resistance that we just saw on this weekly to the resistance back here on this weekly. If we zoom in and we look at the daily chart back then, check it out. Off of the 618 resistance right there. What did Bitcoin do? Exactly what it's doing right now. We fell into this 20-day moving average crossing below the 50. And then we saw Bitcoin actually pull back above the 20 and the 50. So remember, this range that we're tracking kind of right now is like the 20 and the 50. If we look at it real quick, the 20 and the 50, we're looking for Bitcoin to explode out of that area, the 20 and the 50. It actually did break above that area last cycle. Obviously, one of the things last cycle that we'd want to look out for is, man, what happens at the 618 if it gets tested again? But the very first thing really is to analyze out of that breakout, what happens at a Fibonacci on the short term. So we're looking at a swing high, consolidation to swing low, and just this retracement area. What happens there, right? And you can see Bitcoin didn't even make it to the macro 618 bull market doors. It failed at the lower high area, which is that lower high Fibonacci. Now, the same exact thing is what I'd be tracking right now for Bitcoin. So if we're getting a move away from these moving averages, if it actually happens, I'd be looking at the swing high 618 resistance, the bull market door resistance, to the swing low support at that trend line you see there. Because remember, Bitcoin has broken out of this upper trend line of that yellow rising wedge, $70,000 target to the upside, 618 resistance, and throws right back down to the trend line, right? So we're allowing Bitcoin to consolidate between the two areas, the 618, the upper trend line. I would absolutely love to see an ascending triangle right here in play. But all the while, if Bitcoin is going to do this, we can't just say, let's wait for the 618. let's see first if Bitcoin can close candles above the moving averages, which is what we've been tracking. But also, let's see if Bitcoin from the 618 to that swing low, that retracement, the shorter term Fibonacci, let's see if Bitcoin can even break above that, right? So this is that next area of resistance. If Bitcoin moves to the upside right now, and I don't know that it will, but if it does, we have a $45,000 area to around 46.7. So 46.7 down to 45 is an area of resistance for Bitcoin. It is exactly what happened last cycle after 618 resistance at the bull market doors. It just kind of tested that as a lower high, and then it continued falling. Because remember, on the zoomed out, we have room for Bitcoin off of the 618, and we've talked a lot about this, off of the 618 to consolidate into the 20-day moving average right around $38,000. And you can see it kind of, it wicked really briefly just above. But we have the 20-week moving average and then the 50-week moving average are key areas that I've just been tracking for a potential just throwback for Bitcoin, maybe prior to the halving, and then we're entering the bull market, breaking bull market doors. We're still in the middle of answering that question. Is it different this time? And it really is all taking place on the daily chart. It's not something that happens overnight. I know we've been talking about this a lot, and you can even just see on this chart, it's just kind of like, it's just been sideways, everybody. I mean, look at this. This is December 5th, 2 months ago. Bitcoin was at the same exact price it is now. It's just been faking us out a little bit to the upside and downside. But these are some of the questions I'm waiting to get answered for Bitcoin. We're going to track it. We're waiting for that breakout. A breakout through this Fibonacci would be massive to test this macro bull market door 618 area. But time will tell if that even happens. All the while waiting for potential support if it falls around 42,000 at the 20-day moving average and this upper trend line right around $39,000 to $40,000. So going over to Link, let's check out what Chainlink has done recently, just very briefly. Bear market low formation. Interesting to see all of these altcoins having different bear market low formations. In terms of Link, I don't know. One of the most healthy looking, just a simple sideways channel, low drama channel for Link, Chainlink. And you can see it hit its breakout target in that last kind of a little altcoin run that we had for altcoins. And it consolidated in the general area and obviously above, but that breakout target around $13 to $14. Now what Chainlink has done is it consolidated very sideways, low drama once again into key moving averages, support above the 200. The 20 is approaching the 200. The 50 obviously all the way down here, which is normal, but we're getting this kind of moving average consolidation to the upside, and Chainlink just broke out, right, in this last week or so. And even right now as we begin this new week, and this is something we were looking for, I covered Chainlink the other day, if it continues higher, what could that mean for altcoins? This could be an early indicator, a leading indicator for altcoins. What I want to point out, this is where things become so interesting. If we look at the last cycle pre-Bitcoin halving, look at this move, May 2019 for Chainlink, out of, as you see, just this kind of formation, this bottoming out formation. May 2019, Chainlink breaks out, right? Now, and this is all pre-halving, and it's pre-halving this time, pre-Bitcoin halving. If we go to something like Ethereum, I want to point something out to you. Ethereum last cycle, right? It was kind of, and I'm talking about pre-Bitcoin halving, before Ethereum broke into its own parabolic bull market. You can see the bottom formation and just the formation in general for Ethereum looked nothing like Chainlink. Chainlink was way more powerful looking. Look at this breakout move. Look at this higher high move for Chainlink back then. And then go to Ethereum and just look at it, looking weak, looking almost like, man, something like Chainlink is going to have an amazing cycle. Ethereum's not. It's putting in a lower high. And then we fell into COVID. And all the while, you go to the Chainlink chart, it's kind of like, man, right before COVID, here's COVID on Chainlink. Link just put in so much gains, so many gains. Same thing for ADA. If we look at ADA in the last cycle, also very similar to Ethereum, lower high in terms of pre-Bitcoin halving, lower high area, pre-COVID. You can see there's the COVID dip. ADA just looking so weak. All the while, once again, Chainlink was just acting as this powerful looking altcoin. It's kind of like, man, Chainlink's about to just go crazy. Ethereum, ADA, they're not going to do anything this cycle. And that is not what happened. It took a little bit longer. It took more time for ADA and Ethereum. But what happened? Ethereum had a phenomenal bull market last cycle, and ADA had a phenomenal bull market last cycle as well. So here we are once again. Here's ADA charts, and this is what I want to point out in terms of Ethereum and ADA. Let's actually start with Ethereum. We just noted how last cycle Chainlink was looking even stronger. We had these lower high, right? Here's a lower high on Ethereum. Look at Ethereum this cycle around. No lower high, making a more powerful move this cycle around prior to the Bitcoin halving. We go over to ADA, same thing. We're putting in a higher high. The shift out of the bear is happening sooner for ADA this cycle, pre-Bitcoin halving. And that powerful move that we're looking for, I think, for ADA, for Ethereum, because remember, we still have these macro patterns. Here's ADA's macro pattern, 85-cent target to the upside. Here's Ethereum's macro pattern, $4,200 to the upside. We're still waiting for those to play out. Well, Chainlink right now could be a leading indicator that, again, we're needing to wait a little bit longer for some of these other altcoins, but Chainlink, leading indicator saying, you know what? The pump is coming. The targets will be hit. Link doing it sooner this cycle around. So this is what I'm watching on Chainlink. This is what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now. We'll see how the week gets started, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you cruising through. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.